When it comes to successfully finding keywords for ranking your YouTube videos as a small channel, there's only one tool that you need, and the good news is it is free. The bad news is it will take a little more time than some of those other tools that have paid options that pretend to help when really they just get in the way. So timestamps below, along with some other helpful links to growing your channel, as well as driving traffic to your website. So the very first step is going to be choosing a broad topic. So the best way to start your keyword research is to think of a really broad keyword or search that you want to rank for. So I run a marketing channel, so my super broad keyword is going to be content marketing, and I'm choosing a smaller niche on purpose here. Now, the free tool that we're going to be using is going to be the YouTube search box. Now, I know, pump the brakes before you give me a bunch of thumbs down here. Just hear me out. When it comes to ranking, the whole point is ranking for a keyword that someone is actually searching for. And the keyword suggestions that show up in the YouTube search box are the best keywords to go for, because that is from the source, YouTube saying people are searching for this and you should make videos for it. So we're going to jump into my screen here. I recommend using Firefox private browsing mode. Use a VPN if you're trying to rank in a place that in a different location than you are. I'm currently abroad, so I have a VPN turned on to make sure that the results are showing up for the US. And you also want to try and hit enter at the same time, just so you can kind of make sure that you're getting a fresh start. And of course, it's not important if the suggested videos here are different. So what I'm going to do is come up to this search box, and I'm just going to type in content marketing, something very, very broad, and wait a little bit. And now I have suggestions. So these are going to be your tier 1 keywords, your level 1 keywords. So what you would do is you'd make a list of all these and then go through each one of them individually. So as an example, I'm going to type in content marketing, and then I'm going to type in content marketing, and I'll use the first one, strategy, and the final one, examples, just cutting ahead so you don't watch me hit enter type a bunch of times. So then we'll go ahead and hit enter, and we of course want to skip any ads that show up. And now we will start going through the process of evaluating whether or not this suggested search phrase is actually a keyword. Because some of the suggested search phrases that show up in that box are actually not a good fit, and you'll actually be able to find that if you go for one keyword, you'll actually have a chance for ranking for several others, and we'll get to an example of that. And all you need to do when looking at these search results pages, or I'm just going to call them SERPs for short, is making sure that you actually want to create that type of content. So for me, I'm looking at these videos and their titles, and I actually recognize a couple of the channels, so I know that I am going to want to try and make a video to rank for some of these keywords, and that concludes step 1. So step number 2 is actually going to level 2, a level deeper. So as an example here, we have content marketing strategy, right? And then what we're going to do, and this is where you get the real gold keywords, hit spacebar, don't hit enter, hit spacebar, and then this is what I like to call level 2 keywords. These are the keywords and these are the search phrases that you really, really want to pay attention to as a small channel. Even though we're at about 95,000 subscribers, we still use this method to help us rank, because there's always bigger channels. You're always going to feel like a small channel. That feeling's probably never going to go away, unless you're one of the few that make it to 100 million. Although I digress. So these keywords that you're looking at level 2, these are the ones that you want to make a list of and go through to actually evaluate to make sure you actually want to rank for them. Now, this is an incredibly time-consuming process. So if there's a little voice in your back of your mind saying, there's got to be an easier way. I could just use that plugin that I see everyone else promoting. That plugin is not going to be able to give you all of these. And here's the other problem. Every other small YouTube channel is using the same plugin that you've probably heard of. And so actually there's several. I'm not calling out any one individually, but if you want to find the keywords that no one else is looking for and have a chance to actually rank, this is the way to do it. And so once you've gone through and you've made a list of these level 2 keywords, it's time to start evaluating whether or not you should actually go after them. And that's going to be step 3. So For this, we're actually going to use some pre-screenshots because it's kind of hard to find an example live. And we're going to use the example of pumpkin carving because every year, well, almost every year now, people like carving pumpkins for Halloween. So we have a couple of keywords here. We have how to carve a pumpkin, how to make a pumpkin for Halloween, how to create a pumpkin for Halloween, and then pumpkin carving tutorial. Now, someone typing in these different searches, they're all trying to get to the same result. They want a decent looking pumpkin that they can display for Halloween, right? But they're just using different terms. Now, we have to figure out whether or not Google sees them or YouTube. Well, Google owns YouTube. We're talking about Google here, but we'll just say YouTube, right? We need to figure out if YouTube sees these as significantly different keywords, or YouTube says, you know what? How to make a pumpkin, how to create a pumpkin, same thing, we're just going to show the same video. So this is where you start to really figure out which terms are unique and which of the search phrases or suggested search phrases you go, there's no point in ranking for them. And this is a screenshot of the suggested searches when you type these in. So all of these are level 2. We were started out with pumpkin carving and we got down to these longer keywords. And as you can see here, there are a lot of other variations. We would of course dig into them. But for the results, what we're looking for here is to try and figure out, is the suggested search phrase unique, or is it very so similar to another suggested search phrase that we could actually combine them and just consider them one keyword? So there are a couple of questions you're going to want to ask here. Don't worry, I will highlight the videos and go through a little bit of analysis. But here are the questions. The first one you want to ask, is the search phrase in the titles? Then we want to look, how are the search engine results pages similar or different? Is there a video that shows up for all of them? What videos show up in one and not another? So we're just trying to look at all of these pumpkin carving videos, and we're looking at the keywords and we're saying, how is Google, or how is YouTube, how is YouTube deciding why one video shows up at the top for the first 2 keywords, but then it shows up in place number 3 for the second? Now, the short answer is you're never really going to know, right? This is all pretty subjective. But what we can do here is take a look at these search results pages, and we can see how to make a pumpkin and how to create a pumpkin are pretty much the same thing. And they pretty much have the same videos. So we would either target how to make a pumpkin or how to create a pumpkin. Now, not in this example, but sometimes you will find that when the keyword is how to make, all of the videos, or a majority of them, at least 3 out of 5 of the videos, will use the word build, create, or some sort of other verb or adjective that essentially is a synonym and means the same thing. So in this particular instance, the similar verb is going to be carve. So I would actually go look at how to carve a pumpkin for Halloween, or just how to carve a pumpkin, to see how similar the results are. And we might actually find that we could just say how to carve a pumpkin, and then we're going to have a chance for ranking for how to make a pumpkin and how to create a pumpkin. Now, if this seems super OCD and you're just kind of rolling your eyes at this point, this is what it takes to actually find those keywords that no one else is. And this is really one of the most powerful strategies that we've implemented over the past 3 years of growing this channel, to actually find keywords that no one else is going for, but we can actually rank for, because if it's a just suggested search phrase, then there are people searching for it. And no, YouTube never tells anyone the search volume. So any software that says they know the search volume, they're just estimating or making it up. So let's go ahead and evaluate the search results page now to figure out whether or not we think we can rank. So of course, we've figured out different keywords, and maybe we figured out that, hey, you know what, if we say XYZ tutorial, we can also rank for the how-to searches as well. So we might as well just use tutorial instead of how-to. And whatever it is, you have these list of keywords, and now it's time to actually look at the videos and look at the channels and say, at the size channel that I am, do I think I could be successful ranking? Just as a meta example, the keyword research niche for YouTube is really, really competitive. So it's very unlikely that this video will actually rank too well in that, because there's so many big channels. But I bring that up because it's okay to try and go for a keyword that you know is a long shot. Now, how do you know? Well, this is as a general rule of thumb, you want 3 out of the top 5 ranked videos to have less than 100,000 views, and you want most of the channels to be under 500,000 subscribers. And especially when you get into those longer tail recommended search phrases, this is a really, really high bar. Obviously, if we just type something in like how to grow a YouTube channel, that probably wouldn't work for any of us because all of the channels are so big that target that. So if we go back to our content marketing example, just delete that so we know, then what we want to do here is first look at the number of views. So we have 11K, 62, 71, 20, and then 231 views. So by the way, when you see a video that only has a couple hundred views, and this is 5 days ago, that is a big green light. So this is most likely a smaller channel. And even though they're on the bottom of the search results, pretty much the top 5, and after that, it really doesn't matter. Even though they're at the bottom, we could click through this channel, see how many subscribers they have, and you'd most likely find that they are a smaller channel as well, which means you have the opportunity to rank here even as a small channel. When I was first getting started, I had less than 5,000 subscribers. I could actually rank in the top 5 for a few days for some really competitive keywords. And that's just because YouTube is constantly testing new content. YouTube wants to see, hey, is this video better than Brian Dean's? Or is it better than, I think that says Jessica, and then is it better than this marketing channel? And if it is, it's going to gradually push the video to rank higher. So all of the SEO stuff, finding these keywords, this is going to help you get on the page. And then the quality of your video and whether or not it serves the actual user intent is what's going to help it actually move up the search result rankings, right? So if we look at this second example here, we can see that the views are a lot higher. And we can see again that this video with just a couple hundred views is actually ranking, and it's 5 days old, which is awesome. If you see a video with a couple hundred views and it's been 2 days, just come back in 5 days and see if it's still there. If it's still there, then that lets you know a situation like this, even though these videos have a lot of views, there's still a chance to rank. And the top ranking video only has 3,500 views versus 71 and 71. So that lets us know that YouTube might just be putting these videos here because it has nothing else to, it doesn't have anything else to put here. It wants a video that is serving what people are actually searching for, and maybe these two videos are just kind of related. Again, it's all subjective, but that's just a general ballpark rule of thumb for some numbers because I always get those types of questions. Now, the final step, of course, is how do you actually make sure your video ranks? Now, the good news is there's not a whole lot of ambiguity around what you need to do in order to be successful ranking your videos. So again, this is a general rule of thumb. You can always add more, but as a general rule of thumb, you want the target search phrase, the target keyword in your title, somewhere in your title. It doesn't necessarily have to be at the beginning. The more competitive it is, the more it should be at the beginning versus just as a parentheses at the end. Yes, just adding a parentheses with a keyword sometimes actually works. And then for your description, you're going to want to have your target search phrase at least 5 times. The 300 word count, all you need to do there is just talk about the video and why you think it's going to be helpful or valuable to whoever's watching it. And then you're going to want 10 related phrases. And so you have this long laundry list of a bunch of keywords and search phrases that are very similar and in the same niche. And so you're just going to want to use up to 10 of those throughout your description as well. And then of course the video tags. This is the one place where using plugins can actually be helpful because it can save you a lot of time just going to the current top ranking videos, looking at their tags, and then choosing the ones that represent an actual search phrase. So your tag should never sound like a title, and then ones that are actually relevant. You'll find that a lot of people use tags that will just say something to the effect of tutorial or online business when they're talking about a very specific topic like content marketing. Well, you wouldn't want to use those. So you want to be very targeted with your tags, because if you have tags that don't have anything to do with your video or aren't closely related, then it can actually wind up hurting you from an SEO standpoint. So thank you so much for watching. Sincerely hope you have a much better picture of how you can outrank the competition and actually break out as a small channel. This strategy was absolutely amazing for us us in growing this channel, and of course we still do it every single year, I recommend trying to find your 100 true keywords, and that is 100 keywords that you know really represents you and your channel that you can continue to create content for in the future. So thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dive ranking and marketing tutorials just like this one, and until the next, keep building the business you love.